I am currently in the mood to find the perfect thriller read. I feel like I have tried all of the best ones, and it's just been a really long time since I have read a thriller that has really gripped me and shocked me and surprised me in the way that some of these have. I feel like a lot of new thrillers just feel very cookie cutter. They feel predictable. They don't feel very exciting or shocking anymore. So I am on a mission to find the perfect thriller read, and I'm gonna bring you along as I try to see if any of these can be a 5-star read. An additional challenge is that I am trying to read books from the library for this video. I am notorious for not using my library for physically checking books out because I hate it when I like a book and then I have to go buy it after the fact of reading it. Because thriller is so hit or miss for me right now, I decided this would be a good way for me to utilize my library for physically checking books out, because I feel like thriller genre is the genre right now where I'm most likely to be disappointed. I thought this was a good free way to try out some of these thrillers, and I'll just have to suck it up later if I decide that the book is good enough for me to own it. If you're new here, my name is Shelby, and I am so glad that you're here. I am so appreciative of you watching this video, and if you have any thriller recommendations for me, leave them in the comment, because if I haven't heard of it, I would love to try it sometime. Yes, this is my first video back in a really long time. I finally have the capacity to do some fun little videos like this again, and I'm very excited to show you what I have in mind. I'm very excited to bring you along with all of the fun ideas that I have. And the first thing you're probably gonna notice if you have been watching my videos in the past is that I am sort of in a new room. This is my library, and in the past few months since my last video, my husband and I have built my dream library, and there are a few things that I need to put together before I officially show it to you. But for now, you'll get a little snippet. Obviously, this shelf needs to be taken care of. There's just some things on there that don't belong there right now. But I'm excited that I finally have a place for all of my books and a place for me to cozy up with a book and a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. And I'm really excited to show you how we designed this room, because it's a pretty unique layout. It's very narrow, and so we had to be really strategic how we did the bookshelves and everything. And it's gonna be really fun to be able to show that to you. Hopefully I will be able to do that soon. Just waiting on a few more things to come in before I do that. So the first book I am going to be trying out for this challenge is Angels and Demons by Dan Brown. He wrote The Da Vinci Code, which the movie The Da Vinci Code is based off that book, and I really haven't known very much about his books until recently because I just have been in the search for a good thriller. I have already started this. I am not quite halfway, but kind of close to halfway through. I'm really enjoying this one. I'm just going to read the back to you because I feel like it explains it way better than me trying to reiterate what it already said. It says, world-renowned Harvard symbologist Robert Langdon is summoned to a Swiss research facility to analyze a cryptic symbol seared into the chest of a murdered physicist. What he discovers is unimaginable, a deadly vendetta against the Catholic Church by a centuries-old underground organization, the Illuminati. In a desperate race to save the Vatican from a powerful time bomb, Langdon joins forces in Rome with the beautiful and mysterious scientist Vittoria Vetra. Together they embark on a frantic hunt through sealed crypts, dangerous catacombs, and deserted cathedrals, and into the depths of the most secretive vault on Earth, the long-forgotten Illuminati lair. So, there's a lot going on in this book so far, and I've been telling my friends in real life that it feels like I am reading an old, early 2000s thriller movie where you're thrown into the plot not knowing what the heck is going on, and the characters also don't know, so you're figuring out along with them all this stuff that is happening. I don't even know if a symbologist is a real job, to be honest with you. I haven't looked it up, but in this book at least, he basically studies like logos, symbols, things that people have used to symbolize their business or whatever they do. He basically is a historian when it comes to symbology, I guess that's the correct word. There's a big like historical academic side of this because of his knowledge with this and trying to figure out what's going on. There's the history side of the Illuminati, which was actually a real underground brotherhood in the early 1800s. Lots of history about the Catholic Church and the Vatican and all kinds of stuff. But there's also a sci-fi element to this book. The scientist that he is working with to help stop this time bomb, she and her father had basically discovered this new scientific thing that I think is kind of fun to figure out as you're reading it, so I'm not going to fully explain it, but just know there's a sci-fi element in this, and the historical element in this, and the thriller element of having a very short time crunch. They're basically trying to stop this bomb because the bomb is supposedly planted in the Vatican on the eve of a conclave, which is insane. So you have a very high-paced, kind of angsty feel throughout the book so far because there's just such a time crunch with what they're trying to do and really big consequences if it doesn't happen. What also is interesting about how this is written is that, one, the chapters are really short, so if you like short chapters, you're probably going to enjoy this. It's very page turner-y, but you also get perspectives of other people. So there's like the main perspective, and then randomly you'll get perspectives of the bad guy, and you'll randomly get perspectives of like these random people in situations depending on the scene. It's very interesting to kind of get a well-rounded view of like what is really happening at the same time as the main timeline, even though there's only one timeline. I don't know why I said main timeline, but you know what I mean. The main point of view, and then having perspectives of other people that are, you know, at the exact same time as him. I feel like I explained that very poorly, but this is what I'm reading right now, and I am really enjoying it. It is exactly what I have wanted. I've been reading for a little bit today, and I am hoping to read a good chunk of this because I would love to finish this in the next couple days and then start another book for this thriller challenge. So enough of me rambling. I am gonna go sit down with this and read. Okay, this book is absolutely bonkers. I read a good chunk yesterday and I have literally zero plans today except for watching a movie with my husband tonight. I am planning on just reading all day. This book is absolutely crazy. From the beginning of this book to where I am, only like 6 hours have taken place. So this is going into the category of like a story that takes place in one day, because I'm assuming that the rest of the book is also taking place in the same day. There are so many details in here. This is like such a mix and a blend of so many different genres and things that I have liked from other books and movies. I think yesterday I said it feels like an early 2000s thriller. I also am realizing this feels like National Treasure if Nicolas Cage was actually cool. If you want National Treasure vibes, but you want to also be finding clues to all the various things that they're trying to figure out, and you want a time crunch, and you want to literally be on the edge of your seat the entire time, and you want to learn a little bit history-wise, and you want some sci-fi, this literally has all of it. And I am pumped to be able to sit and just read today. I'm gonna cozy up. I'm gonna try to romanticize my reading today because I really haven't been doing that lately. Sometimes, side note about romanticizing things, sometimes it's more work to romanticize it than to just let things be how they are naturally. Sometimes, like I am now in a season where I'm trying to prioritize rest more. Like I'm not doing a very good job of that. I really want to make a point to romanticize it and kind of take some extra time to light the candles, have a fun drink, make it a cozy experience. And I also am gonna have to change locations of where I read. I think that I'm gonna read here in the library, so the shelves are in front of me right now. I'm gonna read in the library for a while, and I might change up where I read depending on if I feel restless or not, because I just can't sit in one spot for literally all day. But I'm gonna get to reading this and I will keep you posted. All right, I think I have some bad news for a reading update. I just finished Angels and Demons, and I'll give them my rating and then I'll give my thoughts on it that are spoil free. I never do spoilers on this channel. So I'm rating this 2 stars. I'm really disappointed because I feel like the first half of this book felt really exciting and there were all the clues and the things I was talking about in the other clips. It just kind of like never resolved. Like I was anticipating all of the clues and the things that he was trying to solve to like slowly be solved over the course of the book, and instead you just keep adding in more details for things. I feel like none of the things were resolved that you thought were going to be resolved in the book. This is definitely a book about conspiracies and uncovering long-held secrets pertaining to the Catholic Church. And so if you like National Treasure vibes but with the religious element, you'll probably enjoy this. I will say this does make me interested to watch the Da Vinci Code, the movie, but I don't think I'm going to continue reading the series. I also did not like the ending, and I have to be very honest with you that I didn't even read the last 75 pages. I looked up what happens in the end of this book. The reason is because this is a really long book. This is 475 pages, and I think one of my other problems with this is that it really could have been 100 pages less than it was, and it just felt like a really long book for no reason, and I think a lot of it could have been cut out and it could have been done a little bit better. However, this does make me realize that I am interested in the clue, like, what is the word? Like a scavenger hunt type thing. And I actually am realizing now as I'm talking that I really liked the inheritance games for that reason. I never finished like all the books. I just read the first 3. But I really liked the first one. And I liked it because of the like mind-bending treasure hunt vibes. And so now it makes me realize I probably should go try to find more books that feel like that, because this definitely felt like that in the beginning, and then I just slowly started to dislike it less and less. But 2 stars. I almost did 1 star, but 2 stars because I did feel pretty intrigued with the first half of the book, and I feel like it deserves an extra star just for that aspect alone. So this is my review / thoughts of Angels and Demons by Dan Brown. And now I need to go figure out my next book. I have a basket of library books and I need to figure out which one I'm going to try next. I just recorded an entire clip and realized that it wasn't recording at all. So, Sometimes I Lie by Alice Feeney is one of my options. This is a past present timeline. Present day is Boxing Day, and she's in a coma in the hospital and she does not know what happened. She's trying to remember, and all these weird things are happening as far as people that are visiting her. And then in the past timeline it says it's a week ago. It's just leading up to the event that put her in a coma. This is 262 pages, so it's pretty short. And so anyway, this is one of my options. One of my other options is The Guest by B.A. Paris. I don't know if I've ever heard of this author, but this is somebody else that the librarian recommended to me. And the description says this couple gets back from a holiday and basically like one of their friends is staying over, like uninvited, and is doing weird things like trying to sleep in the bed with them and like just crazy kind of creepy social, like non-social awareness stuff. And so this one definitely sounds interesting to me. The last one that I'm trying to decide between is That's Not My Name by Megan Lally. This is the perspective of a girl that basically wakes up on the side of the road and she's like beat up, bleeding. She doesn't remember anything. She doesn't know who she is. And somebody comes to the police station when she's rescued and says he's the father. He knows her name. He has like all this proof to show like that he knows her, but she doesn't buy it. She doesn't know if he actually is. So it's kind of like a more suspense, like psychological thriller in that way. I'm gonna sit down and try to figure out which one of these I'm gonna read, and I will update you later. My hair looks kind of crazy, so just ignore that. But I have decided to read That's Not My Name by Megan Lally. I sat down and started this earlier and I read 35 pages, like I think that's where I'm at. Yeah, 35 pages, like super quick. It is a very fast read. It is a YA mystery thriller. It is dual perspective, and I did not know it was dual perspective because I did not read the full synopsis on the back of the book. I obviously am not far enough to know my full thoughts on it, but I am liking how it's set up so far. It feels like a good springtime going into summertime read because, I don't know, just something about it feels like it's taking place that time of year to me, and I am really enjoying it. I don't really know what is a spoiler or not. I guess because it's on the back of the book, it's not a spoiler. The first perspective is the main character who doesn't remember her name, who earlier I said is like the police found her on the side of the road, bring her in, and then somebody shows up, says that he is her father, that he knows her, he has proof that he, you know, fathered her. The other perspective is this boy named Drew, and he is grieving because his girlfriend has gone missing and everybody's blaming him for whatever happened. They haven't found a body. They haven't discovered anything about where she is. She's been missing for 5 weeks. So I'm very intrigued. I am sitting down to curl up and read my book for a while for the evening, and I am excited to kind of romanticize it. So I'm gonna sit here and read, and I will update you at some point. Tomorrow I am working, so it might not be tomorrow, but it won't really make a difference for you because it'll probably just be the next clip. Alright, it is actually a few days later and I am re-wearing the shirt because it is very comfortable, but I have a reading update. I have been reading every single day. I think one day I was literally not able to read. I was gone all day, but I've read basically every single day since I've last updated you. I have like 90 pages left. Actually, no, I have 80 pages left of That's Not My Name by Megan Lally. This has been so much fun to read for me. I am flying through it. I feel like I could have read this probably in one sitting if I had had the time to do that. But because I am busier right now, I'm reading kind of in spurts and little pockets here and there. It's been really fun, but it's also been frustrating because it's just, I'm just such in the mood to sit and just binge read, and I literally haven't been able to do that. I'm hoping that maybe one day this week I'll be able to. But I am really liking this, and I have no idea what I'm gonna end up rating it. It's all gonna depend on how the book ends. Obviously it has kind of been a slower paced book than I thought, but at the same time I literally can't stop reading it. Like, I'm reading it fast, but the actual story is going slow, if that makes sense. This is a dual perspective. I believe I've already said that, but it kind of goes like 2 chapters per person. So two chapters of the main character, 2 chapters of the other main character. And I don't really want to give spoilers because I've kind of enjoyed not knowing very much as I have been reading this, but I will say it is YA. It's technically YA, but I don't know if I recommend it for YA readers because there's a good bit of language in this, more than like other YA stuff that I have read, and so just be cautious of that. It reads more like an adult thriller, except for the fact that they're high school students. That's really the only YA aspect or teen aspect. I am about to sit and try to binge this out. I have a couple hours before I need to make dinner, and then we have Bible study tonight, so I'll be busy this evening, so I'm really hoping I can binge this out and finish it before then. But so far so good, and I'm really hoping that this one is going to be my first 5-star thriller of this video. Okay, I have finished That's Not My Name by Megan Lally. I feel like I'm looking at this author's name every single time I say it. For some reason, I can't remember. This was such a good thriller, and I'm rating it 5 stars. So I think that I accomplished what I set out to do, which is to find a thriller that was actually good and kept my attention and all of the things. I think that this has proven that there still are good thrillers out there. You just have to look for them, and they're not all that great. Some of them can be cookie cutter, some of them can be predictable, which is what I've been experiencing lately when I try to read newer ones. This is a debut novel, which is amazing to me. She did such a good job with this. I really enjoyed the way that the story was told, enjoyed the plot twist at the end. Some of the things I feel like weren't necessarily surprising to me. Like, the shock factor wasn't quite as shocking as I thought. However, because of the way the story was told and the fact that they explored some deeper themes in this that really gave you some character development, which I obviously love character development, all those things together make this feel like a 5-star to me. Also, this feels like a very nostalgic mystery thriller, like what I think of when I think of reading a mystery thriller. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. couldn't put it down. I was thinking about it when I wasn't reading it. All I wanted to do was sit down and just keep my nose in this book and read it in one sitting, and I really enjoyed it. I think I mentioned it's teen or YA, but there's a lot of language, like more than some books that I have read that are adult, and so I would be careful giving this to your teenagers. I guess it would depend on the person if they're able to handle that kind of thing. Otherwise, there was like nothing that you had to skip, like no inappropriate scenes, no nothing like that. It was just a fun story, and it kind of feels like the nostalgic factor that I experienced reading Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Obviously a very different story, but for some reason I'm like comparing the two, not comparing. I'm thinking of that book as well when I have finished reading this. I feel like it would be something I would suggest to people if you liked A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Yeah, I just really had a good time with this. I had a really good time. I'm excited that I actually found a good book, because I gotta be honest, I was worried that I was gonna not ever find a good thriller again. So I'm gonna conclude this vlog here because I've accomplished my purpose with it, and it's been really fun to take you along as I kind of challenge myself to, 1, read library books, and 2, to find thriller books that I enjoy. This is going on my list of books I would like to own and put on my shelf, so I do have to deal with that. Going to buy a book that I've already read I don't like doing it. I don't know why. It feels like a waste of money, even though it's really not. Just something is not quite so fun about that. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching this video. This is just a fun little side gig for me, and I really enjoy the creative process of this, so I appreciate you being here, and hope you have a good one. Bye, friends.